Hello, this is just an example bid. We get this question a lot. How can I bid to long call? And then if that's not going to work, I want to attempt a line before trying short call. So this particular pilot, in addition to wanting long call, if he's being processed as a line holder, he wants commutable trips and as few red eyes as possible. He knows there's going to be some red eyes necessary, but wants the fewest number possible. So let's look at how we constructed this bid, why we did what we did. We picked 95 as the target number for the max above, and there's a great video here that describes how to calculate that best. But if you look at the info page, you'll see that 95 reserve plus 405 line holders does not add up to 568 eligible bidders. So being that 405 and 95 adds up to 500, we know we have 68 extra pilots. Those pilots will become long call. Now, the projected line holders numbers can change plus or minus 10, 15% sometimes, depending on where pre-credit lands, bidder behavior, things of that nature. This is only a projection, but whatever the difference is between line holders and eligible bidders will be reserve pilots. And the company is only planning for 95. And out of that 95, typically they use about 60% short call, 40% long call, give or take. But let's go ahead and use the minimum here for the safest answer. With 24 minimum required long calls, that's the 25% of 95, plus the 68 extras that we have, puts us at 92 long call pilots. And I just bumped it up a couple extra because I know it's going to be more than that. The max above feature, it's your attempt to guess bidder behavior and how many pilots are going to bid to long call, because you could have guys senior to you who are on reserve and they bid short call, making more long calls total junior to you. This is just a way to control how many reserves are senior to you before you bid to reserve. So let's say you're reservist number 97. That means there's more than 95 above you. So it's going to go to the next bid group, which is this pairing group. We've asked for Sundays off, then Saturdays. We bid this way specifically instead of full weekends, because weekend it bids from the beginning of Saturday to the end of Sunday as one unit. And if it can't honor that whole unit, it won't attempt a partial weekend. Whereas if we bid Sunday, then Saturday, it will try to get all the Sundays first, and then it will try to get all the Saturdays. So that lets you prioritize which of the 2 days you would rather have if you can only have one. And it makes PBS try to give you partial weekends. That is to say, it'll try and give you the full weekend, but it will also attempt to do Saturdays only and Sundays only. Next, this pilot didn't want red eyes. We could add avoid red eye statement in here if we wanted to. In fact, just for fun, I'll put it in there. Avoid red eye, counting deadheads, apply. if this pilot was senior enough that they knew they could construct their line without having deadheads at all, or I'm sorry, without having red eyes at all, then this command line is sort of a time entry or a data entry savings, because it commands do not pick any pairings that have red eyes. So we'll actually filter these pairings and go, okay, award this, but don't let it be a red eye. If, however, PBS is required to give you a red eye, then this command is a 1 or a 0. It's denied. And now PBS is not trying to keep you out of red eyes. So the best thing to do is, if you're on sort of the red eye bubble, or if you're in a position where you know you can't complete a line without having at least one red eye, then the easier way to do it, or the better way to do it, is to make your award statements include the if not red eye. And so I've done 3 groups, all with if not red eye. Group number 1 has commutable on both ends, so check-in time after 11, check-out time before 1900, not red eye. And then we go with the credit down by 15 minutes each section, each one, until we get to 4:59, because everything's rigged at 5 hours, so I know this will encompass all trips that are commutable that are not red eyes. But I would rather have the higher credit before I have the lower credit. If credit is more important to you than commutability, then you would instead put these in sequence where each 6:30 line was first, and then you'd go back and do the 6:15 lines next, and so on and so forth. But so we build this kind of like a Christmas tree. We cast we have the restrictions high here, and then we widen the net as we move down. First by credit, then less commutability. Now the second group here is not worrying about the front end commute. The third group is not worrying about any commute. We're still asking for no red eyes, and we're decreasing the credit until we're getting this line here, which is all trips that are not red eyes. Then we go, well, if I have to take a red eye, let's go ahead and start using these parameters that we used up here at line 5. We're going to start again, except now we're going to not use that if not red eye command. So we'll go ahead and have 6.5 hour trips that are commutable on both ends, but now we're going to go ahead and accept red eyes. So at least I'll get as many trips as I can that are not red eyes, and however many it needs to at the end, it will complete with these. So you'll notice that I have 4:59 for all of these, and then this last one here, I don't have a 4:59. That's because this award pairings line here will encompass all trips, all remaining trips in the pool that you have not asked for. It will then attempt to put on your line to get you to above into the line holder window. So what happens if there aren't insufficient trips to get you to a line? PBS will go, there's not enough credit. It will try this group here, and it'll just say insufficient credit. I determined that in this previous bid group. I'm not doing it twice. Then it goes to award reserve, and it goes to the reserve process. Also, if you have if you're number 96 on reserve or less, then it will award reserve because you are within the 95 pilots, or there are only 95 above you. So then this is like a go-to statement, and it says go to reserve bid group. So now it's going to go here. We've put long call as the first line. This pilot wants to be on long call more than he wants days off. So the long call command is first. That's very important because if I have a series of days, in this case, Saturday's first, if PBS can give me either more days off, or if it can give me higher priority days off on short call, it will switch to short call first. So if I had these lines reversed and I had to not work one Saturday on long call, but I got all my Saturdays off on short call, even if I didn't get any Sundays, PBS would have determined that short call is better for me at this line. And then it will ignore this line because it's after. This is a higher priority statement now. So let's go ahead and turn these around. There we go. And that's it for this bid. So we've sort of double checked it, made sure that I'm happy with all these statements. And we'll go ahead and go up here and click submit. And when we do that, we're going to make sure that we get a good copy here, confirmation. We don't have any error messages. Sometimes you'll get an error message here that says something like, hey, yeah, we've noticed you have an else start next command with nothing to else start next to. Please be sure that you have something in there. If you see an error message here, that's a good time to contact the scheduling committee and double check your bid. So we've got that confirmation number. I've de-identified this bid, but you would see that confirmation number in the banner up here next to your name across the top. Thanks for watching. You can find more information through these resources.